East Liverpool, Ohio, October 22nd, 1934, 4:15 p.m. Two automobiles move south on Sprucevale Road. The first carries 4 men from the East Liverpool Police Department. Police Chief Hugh J. McDermott sits in the front. Behind him, Patrolman Chester C. Smith, Glenn Montgomery and Herman Roth check their weapons. Smith holds a .32 2020 Winchester rifle. The others carry service revolvers. The second car follows 30 yards back. Inside are 4 FBI agents led by Special Agent in Charge Melvin Purvis. They have been searching for 48 hours. The vehicles slow as they approach a farmhouse. A Model A Ford sits in the yard. Chief McDermott signals to stop. Both cars pull to the side of the road. The 8 men exit. They spread out. No one speaks. They have received dozens of tips over the past 2 days. Most led nowhere. The farm belongs to Ellen Conkle, a 41-year-old widow. Her brother Stuart Dyke works the fields. At this moment, Dyke sits in his Model A. A man sits beside him in the front seat. The man wears a dark suit. His clothes are dirty. His face shows 2 days of stubble. He watches the police cars arrive. Charles Arthur Floyd recognizes danger immediately. He tells Dyke to pull behind the corn crib. Dyke obeys. The Model A moves 20 feet and stops. Floyd opens the door. He steps out. In his right hand he holds a .45 caliber Colt automatic pistol. In his waistband he carries a second gun. The lawmen see him. They shout. Floyd does not respond. He turns toward the cornfield behind the farm. He runs. 93 shots are fired in the next 30 seconds. Chester Smith raises his Winchester. He aims at the running figure. He fires. Floyd continues running. Smith fires again. Patrolman Montgomery discharges his revolver. Chief McDermott fires. The FBI agents open fire with their handguns. One agent carries a Thompson submachine gun. The weapon chatters. Bullets tear through the air. Floyd zigzags across the field. He is fast. He does not fire back. His right arm hangs at his side. The Colt remains in his hand. A bullet strikes him. He falls to his knees. He stands. He runs again. Another bullet hits him. He falls. This time he does not get up. The shooting stops. Smoke drifts across the field. The lawmen approach the fallen man. They walk carefully. Their weapons remain ready. They reach Floyd. He lies on his back. His eyes are open. Blood spreads across his shirt. 2 bullet wounds mark his torso. One went through his right arm. Melvin Purvis kneels beside him. Purvis is 31 years old. He wears a dark suit and a fedora. His face shows no expression. He asks the wounded man his name. Floyd responds with a single word. Floyd. Purvis asks about his partner. Floyd asks, "Where's Etty?" He means Adam Richetti, arrested 2 days earlier in Wellsville, 8 miles north. Purvis asks about Kansas City. He wants to know about the Union Station massacre. 5 men died there on June 17, 1933. 4 were lawmen. The FBI has pursued Floyd ever since. Floyd looks at Purvis. He speaks clearly. "I won't tell you anything, you son of a bitch." The 3 East Liverpool patrolmen lift Floyd. They carry him to a large apple tree 30 yards away. They set him down in the shade. Floyd's breathing becomes shallow. His eyes close. 15 minutes pass. At 4:35 p.m., Charles Arthur Floyd dies. He is 30 years old. Purvis stands. He walks quickly to the Conkle farmhouse. He needs a telephone. He must call Washington. J. Edgar Hoover is waiting. Hoover named Floyd public enemy number 1 after John Dillinger fell outside the Biograph Theater in Chicago 3 months earlier. The director wants confirmation. The other agents and police officers remain with the body. They search Floyd's pockets. They find a watch and a fob. The items contain notches, 10 notches on each. Later reports claim Floyd carved 1 notch for each man he killed. The total comes to 20. Floyd's actual count remains uncertain. He was arrested first in 1925. He killed at least 10 men, perhaps more. 2 FBI agents carry Floyd's body to one of the cars. They place him in the back seat. Chester Smith and Glenn Montgomery sit on either side. The corpse is propped between them. The car drives north to East Liverpool. They arrive at the Sturgis funeral home at 5:10 p.m. Floyd's body is taken inside. It is placed on a cot in the viewing room. Word spreads quickly. Within an hour, people begin arriving. They want to see Pretty Boy Floyd. The funeral home opens its doors. A line forms on the street. Men, women, and children wait to enter. By midnight, more than 3,000 people have filed past the body. The line continues through the night. Ellen Conkler remains at her farm. She tells police what happened before they arrived. A man appeared at her door around 3 p.m. He said he was a hunter. He claimed he had been lost in the woods since the previous night. He was hungry. Mrs. Conkle prepared a meal: spare ribs, potatoes, rice pudding, and pumpkin pie. The man ate rapidly. He said the food was fit for a king. He gave her $1. He asked to see newspapers. Mrs. Conkle brought him papers from the previous 2 days. The man read about a manhunt. He learned that police had captured his partner Adam Ricchetti in Wellsville on October 20th. He read that officers were searching for him throughout Columbiana County. He remained calm. He asked Mrs. Conkle for help getting to Youngstown. She suggested he wait for her brother to finish work in the fields. Stuart Dyke returned at 4 p.m. The stranger asked for a ride. Dyke agreed to take him part of the way. They got into Dyke's Model A. They were about to leave when the police cars arrived. That was 15 minutes ago. Now Floyd is dead. Wellsville, Ohio, October 20th, 1934. John Fultz receives a telephone call. Fultz is the Wellsville police chief. The caller is Lon Israel, a local resident. Israel reports seeing 2 suspicious men with guns on a hillside near Silver Switch. Fultz takes the call seriously. A bank was robbed in Tiltonsville the previous day. The robbers have not been caught. Fultz calls Special Officers Grover Potts and William Irwin. The 3 men drive to the location Israel described. They find 2 men wrapped in blankets. The men appear to be camping. Fultz approaches the nearest one. The man draws a pistol. He fires. Fultz feels a bullet graze his ankle. He draws his own revolver. He fires back. The second man runs up the hillside. He fires as he runs. Potts and Irwin return fire. 29 shots are exchanged. 1 bullet hits Potts in the right shoulder. The gunman disappears into the woods. The first man raises his hands. He surrenders. Fultz arrests him. He takes him to the Wellsville jail. The prisoner gives a false name. Fultz does not believe him. He calls the FBI office in Chicago. He tells them he thinks he fought Pretty Boy Floyd. He has arrested Floyd's partner. Fingerprints confirm the prisoner's identity. His name is Adam Ricchetti. He is 23 years old. He has been Floyd's partner for 2 years. The man who escaped is indeed Charles Arthur Floyd. After fleeing, he stops a motorist. George McMullen drives a Model T. Floyd forces him to drive. The car runs out of gas. Floyd and McMullen walk to the road. Floyd stops another car. The driver is James Baum, a 60-year-old florist from Wellsville. Floyd orders Baum to drive. He tells him to stay on back roads. The car heads toward Lisbon. Deputy George E. Hayes and Lisbon police officer George Patterson are manning a roadblock on US Route 30. They have been warned to watch for suspicious vehicles. They see Baum's Nash approaching. The car suddenly turns around. Hayes and Patterson follow. Floyd orders Baum to turn onto Roller Coaster Road, a secondary highway. Floyd breaks the rear window. He fires at the pursuing police car. 1 bullet smashes the windshield. Hayes and Patterson fire back. Baum stops the car. Floyd runs into the woods. He disappears. Hayes and Patterson find Baum. He has been shot in the leg. McMullen is unharmed. They take McMullen to Lisbon in handcuffs. They leave Baum to wait for medical help. By nightfall, police are searching all of Columbiana County. Armed citizens join the hunt. FBI agents arrive from Chicago, Cleveland, and Cincinnati. Melvin Purvis arrives Sunday evening, October 21st. He establishes headquarters in East Liverpool. He coordinates the search with local police. The manhunt involves more than 100 men. Floyd remains hidden for 48 hours. No one sees him. He moves through woods and fields. The weather is cold. Rain falls intermittently. Floyd wears only a suit. He has no food. He has no water. He keeps moving. The search focuses on the area between Wellsville and East Liverpool. Police check every farm, every barn, every outbuilding. They interview residents. They warn people to lock their doors. They tell them Floyd is armed and dangerous. No one is to approach him. A Sunday passes with no sighting. Monday morning comes. The search continues. Purvis and his agents patrol the roads south of Clarkson, a small village 7 miles southeast of East Liverpool. Chief McDermott and his officers do the same. They travel in separate cars. They stop anyone they see. They ask questions. They look for anything unusual. At 3 p.m. Monday, Floyd emerges from the woods near Sprucevale. He is exhausted. He is hungry. He sees a farmhouse. He approaches. Ellen Conkle answers the door. Floyd tells her he is a hunter. He says he has been lost. He asks for food. Mrs. Conkle agrees. She prepares a meal. Floyd eats. He asks for newspapers. He reads them on the front porch. He learns about Richetti's capture. He learns about the massive manhunt. Floyd does not panic. He asks Mrs. Conkle for help getting to Youngstown. She tells him to wait for her brother. Floyd agrees. He walks to Dyke's Model A. He sits in the front seat. He waits. Dyke returns from the fields at 4 p.m. Floyd explains what he needs. Dyke says he will drive him part of the way. They prepare to leave. At that moment, a farmer named Clyde Birch sees Floyd near the Conkle farm. Birch is the township constable. He calls the East Liverpool police. He reports a suspicious man. Chief McDermott takes the call. He has received dozens of similar reports over the past 2 days. He decides to investigate. He gathers his men. They drive to Sprucevale Road. Purvis and his agents follow. The 2 cars arrive at the Conkle farm at 4:15 p.m. They see the Model A in the yard. They see a man in the front seat. They stop. They get out. The Model A moves behind the corn crib. The man exits. He holds a gun. He runs. The shooting lasts 30 seconds. Floyd falls. The manhunt is over. Kansas City, Missouri. June 17, 1933, 7:15 a.m. This story began 16 months earlier. A Missouri Pacific train arrives at Union Station. FBI agents Frank Smith and Feck Joseph Lackey are aboard. They are transporting a federal prisoner. His name is Frank Nash. Nash escaped from Leavenworth Penitentiary in 1930. He was recaptured in Hot Springs, Arkansas on June 16th. The agents are returning him to prison. Special Agent in Charge Reed E. Vetterli meets them at the station. He brings FBI agent R.J. Caffrey and 2 Kansas City police officers, Jim J. Grooms and Frank Hermanson. McAllister, Oklahoma Police Chief Otto Reed is also present. He helped capture Nash in Hot Springs. The 7 lawmen escort Nash through the station lobby. Nash wears handcuffs. Chief Reed and Agent Lackey carry shotguns. The other officers carry pistols. They exit the station at 7:20 a.m. They pause on the platform. They see nothing suspicious. They proceed to a Chevrolet parked at the curb. Agent Caffrey unlocks the door. Nash starts to enter the back seat. Lackey tells him to sit in front. Nash obeys. Lackey climbs into the back seat behind the driver. Agent Smith sits beside him. Chief Reed sits on the right side of the back seat. Caffrey walks around to the driver's door. Vetterli stands at the front of the car with officers Grooms and Hermanson. A green Plymouth is parked 6 feet away. Agent Lackey sees 2 men run from behind a car. Both are armed. One carries a machine gun. Lackey has no time to warn the others. One gunman shouts, "Up, up!" A voice from behind the Plymouth yells, "Let him have it." Gunfire erupts. Officers Grooms and Hermanson fall dead. Vetterli is shot in the left arm. He drops to the ground. He sees Caffrey fall. Caffrey has been shot in the head. Inside the car, Frank Nash and Chief Reed are killed instantly. Agents Lackey and Smith throw themselves forward in the back seat. Lackey is hit 3 times. He survives. Smith is not hit. The shooting lasts 30 seconds. 5 men are dead. The gunmen run to a dark Chevrolet. They drive away. A Kansas City policeman emerges from the station. He fires at the fleeing car. He hits nothing. The killers escape. The FBI launches an immediate investigation. Witnesses describe 3 gunmen. Agents interview everyone present. They collect evidence. They find fingerprints on beer bottles at a Kansas City residence. The prints belong to Adam Ricchetti. The FBI identifies the killers. Vernon C. Miller, Charles Arthur Floyd, and Adam Ricchetti carried out the massacre. Vernon Miller planned the operation. Miller is 37 years old. He served in World War I as a machine gunner. After the war, he became a police officer in South Dakota. He was elected sheriff in 1920. He served 2 years. Then he embezzled public funds. He was convicted and sent to prison. He served 5 years. After his release, he moved to Chicago. He became a hired gunman for criminal organizations. Miller learned that Frank Nash was being transported to Kansas City. Nash was Miller's friend. Miller decided to free him. He recruited Floyd and Ricchetti. The 3 men met in Kansas City on June 16. They planned the rescue. They obtained machine guns. They positioned themselves at Union Station the next morning. The plan failed. Nash died in the rescue attempt. 4 lawmen also died. The Kansas City massacre became national news. Congress responded by giving FBI agents the authority to carry firearms and make arrests. Before the massacre, FBI agents could not carry guns. They relied on local police for armed support. After the massacre, everything changed. J. Edgar Hoover made the Kansas City killers his top priority. He directed all FBI resources to finding them. Vernon Miller fled to Chicago. He hid for several months. On November 29, 1933, his body was found in a ditch outside Detroit. He had been beaten, strangled, and shot. Underworld sources reported that Miller was killed in retaliation for shooting a member of a New Jersey crime family. Floyd and Ricchetti fled Kansas City. They traveled to Toledo, then to Buffalo, New York. In Buffalo, they met 2 women, Rose and Beulah Baird. The 4 rented an apartment on September 21, 1933. They lived there for a year. They rarely left. Floyd walked constantly from the front to the rear of the apartment. Neighbors noticed. They found the behavior strange. The women occasionally threw money to children playing in the street. They never spoke with other residents. In October 1934, the group decided to return to Oklahoma. Rose Baird bought a Ford sedan. On October 18th, they left Buffalo. Floyd drove. The plan was to drive straight through to Oklahoma. Floyd would return to his family home in Sallisaw. From there he would disappear into the Cookson Hills, where he had hidden before. The trip went wrong almost immediately. At 3 a.m. on October 19th, heavy fog covered the road near Wellsville, Ohio. Floyd lost control. The car slid into a telephone pole. The vehicle was badly damaged. Floyd and Ricchetti took their guns and left the car. They hid in the woods. Rose and Beulah took the damaged Ford to a Wellsville garage. They arranged for repairs. Floyd and Ricchetti spent the day hiding near Silver Switch. They wrapped themselves in blankets. They waited for the car to be repaired. A local resident, Lon Israel, spotted them. He called Police Chief John Foltz. Foltz investigated. He found the 2 men shooting began. Ricchetti was captured. Floyd escaped. The capture of Ricchetti triggered a massive response. FBI agents converged on Wellsville. Melvin Purvis took command. Purvis was 31 years old. He led the Chicago FBI office. 3 months earlier, he had directed the operation that killed John Dillinger. Hoover sent him to Ohio to find Floyd. Purvis arrived in Wellsville on Sunday evening, October 21st. He met with Chief Foltz. The meeting did not go well. Foltz expected to lead the manhunt. Purvis took control instead. Foltz felt disrespected. The tension between federal and local authorities would last for years. Purvis established his headquarters in East Liverpool. He coordinated search teams. FBI agents and local police patrolled every road in the area. They checked every farm, every building, every vehicle. They questioned hundreds of residents. They received dozens of tips. Most led nowhere. Floyd remained hidden through Sunday and Monday morning. He moved at night. He stayed in the woods during the day. He had no food. He had no shelter. The October weather was cold and damp. Floyd kept moving. He knew that if he stopped, he would be found. Monday afternoon, hunger forced him out of hiding. He approached Ellen Conkle's farm near Sprucevale. Mrs. Conkle fed him. She gave him newspapers. Floyd read about the manhunt. He learned that more than 100 officers were searching for him. He knew he needed to leave the area quickly. He asked Mrs. Conkle for help getting to Youngstown. From Youngstown, he could catch a bus or train. He could reach Oklahoma in 2 days. He could disappear into the Cookson Hills. Local people there protected him. They saw him as a folk hero. He robbed banks during the Depression. He reportedly destroyed mortgage records during robberies, freeing farmers from debt. Whether these stories were true did not matter. People believed them. Stuart Dyke agreed to drive Floyd part of the way to Youngstown. They got into Dyke's Model A. At that moment, Constable Clyde Birch called the police. Birch had seen Floyd walking near the farm. Chief McDermott responded. Purvis and his agents followed. The 2 police cars arrived at 4:15 p.m. Floyd saw them immediately. He ran for the cornfield. The officers opened fire. 93 shots were fired. Floyd was hit twice. He fell. He died 15 minutes later. Chester Smith, the East Liverpool patrolman who shot Floyd, claimed for decades that his rifle brought Floyd down. Melvin Purvis claimed an FBI agent with a Thompson submachine gun made the kill. The dispute was never resolved. What is certain is that multiple officers fired at Floyd. At least 2 bullets hit him. Either wound would have been fatal. In 1979, Chester Smith made a new claim. He told Time magazine that after Floyd fell, Purvis ordered an FBI agent to finish him off. Smith said an agent fired a burst from a submachine gun into Floyd's body. Smith claimed Floyd was executed. The FBI denied the allegation. Purvis was dead by then. He died in 1960. He could not respond. The controversy remains unresolved. Adam Ricchetti remained in the Wellsville jail through the weekend. Armed guards surrounded the building. Police expected Floyd to attempt a rescue. Floyd never came. After Floyd's death on Monday, Ricchetti was informed of his partner's fate. He showed no emotion. He asked no questions. Chief Fultz refused to release Ricchetti to federal authorities. Melvin Purvis requested custody on Sunday. Fultz refused. J. Edgar Hoover himself called Fultz on Monday. Fultz still refused. He was angry about Purvis taking control of the manhunt. He would not cooperate with the FBI. Instead, Fultz charged Ricchetti in Wellsville Mayor's Court. The charges were carrying a concealed weapon and shooting with intent to kill. Ricchetti pleaded guilty to the weapons charge. He was fined $75 plus court costs. The charge of shooting with intent to kill was dropped. The next day, Ricchetti was transferred to the county jail in Lisbon. At the county jail, Ricchetti was paraded outside twice for schoolchildren. Hundreds of children came to see the captured gangster. Local authorities treated the event like a public spectacle. The FBI protested. Fultz and the county sheriff ignored them. Eventually, federal prosecutors threatened contempt charges against Wellsville and Columbiana County authorities. The threat worked. On October 25, Ricchetti was released to federal custody. He was transported to Kansas City to face charges in the Union Station massacre. Ricchetti's trial began on June 10, 1935. The charge was first-degree murder of Officer Frank Hermanson, one of the Kansas City police officers killed at Union Station. The trial lasted 7 days. On June 17, exactly 2 years after the massacre, the jury returned a guilty verdict. They recommended the death penalty. Ricchetti was sentenced to hang. Ricchetti's lawyers filed appeals. They argued that Ricchetti was insane. A hearing was held. Doctors examined Ricchetti. They found him mentally competent. The appeals were denied. On August 31, 1938, Ricchetti was sentenced. The method of execution was changed from hanging to the gas chamber. Missouri had recently built its first gas chamber. Adam Ricchetti would be the first person to die in it. On October 7, 1938, at 12:01 a.m., Adam Ricchetti was strapped into the gas chamber at Missouri State Penitentiary in Jefferson City. Cyanide pellets were dropped into acid. Gas filled the chamber. Ricchetti died in 8 minutes. He was 27 years old. He never admitted participating in the Kansas City massacre. He never implicated Floyd. He died maintaining his innocence. Floyd's body remained at the Sturgis Funeral Home in East Liverpool for 2 days. The viewing continued without interruption. By Tuesday evening, October 23rd, more than 10,000 people had seen the body. Newspapers reported that some viewers touched the corpse. Others took photographs despite requests from Floyd's family not to do so. Floyd's mother, Mamie Floyd, sent a telegram from Oklahoma on Monday evening. She requested that her son's body not be photographed or exhibited to the public. Her request was ignored. The funeral home kept the body on display. A local pottery worker made a death mask from Floyd's face. Plaster casts were made from the mask. Copies were distributed to officers who participated in the manhunt. One copy was given to Melvin Purvis. Another went to J. Edgar Hoover. On Wednesday morning, October 24th, Floyd's body was placed in a casket. It was loaded onto a Pennsylvania Railroad baggage car. The train departed East Liverpool at 9:15 a.m. It traveled west toward Oklahoma. The journey took 2 days. The train arrived in Sallisaw on Friday, October 26th. Floyd's funeral was held on Sunday, October 28th, in Aikens, Oklahoma, a small community near Sallisaw. More than 50,000 people attended. It was the largest funeral in Oklahoma history. People came from across the state. They lined the roads. They stood in fields surrounding the cemetery. Many had never met Floyd. They came because he was famous. They came because he was a folk hero. During the Depression, Floyd's reputation grew. People told stories about him robbing banks and destroying mortgage records. They said he gave money to poor farmers. They said he helped people who had nothing. Whether these stories were true is uncertain. Floyd robbed at least 30 banks. He killed at least 10 people. He was a criminal. But in Oklahoma during the Depression, some people saw him differently. Floyd was buried in Aikens Cemetery. Rose and Beulah Baird attended the funeral. They had fled Wellsville when they learned of Ricchetti's arrest. They drove to Kansas City, then to Oklahoma. After the funeral, they disappeared. Their fate is unknown. Police never charged them with any crime. The Kansas City massacre changed the FBI. Before June 17, 1933, the Bureau of Investigation was a small federal agency with limited powers. Agents could not carry guns. They could not make arrests without local police assistance. They investigated federal crimes, but they had little authority to act. After the massacre, Congress gave the Bureau new powers. Agents were authorized to carry firearms. They were given arrest authority. The Bureau's budget was increased. New agents were hired. Training was expanded. On July 1, 1935, the Bureau of Investigation was renamed the Federal Bureau of Investigation. J. Edgar Hoover became its first director. The massacre also changed public perception of crime. The deaths of 4 law enforcement officers shocked the nation. Newspapers demanded action. Congress responded. New federal laws made it a crime to flee across state lines to avoid prosecution. It became a federal offense to kill a federal officer. Melvin Purvis resigned from the FBI in 1935. His relationship with J. Edgar Hoover had deteriorated. Hoover resented the publicity Purvis received for capturing Dillinger and Floyd. Purvis left federal service and returned to South Carolina. He practiced law. He worked in radio broadcasting. On February 29, 1960, he died of a gunshot wound at his home in Florence, South Carolina. The FBI ruled his death a suicide. Some investigators later concluded it was an accident. The truth remains unclear. The Thompson submachine gun found near Silver Switch after Ricchetti's arrest was sent to FBI headquarters in Washington. Floyd's Colt automatic pistol was also sent to Washington. Both weapons were placed on display. They remained there for decades as reminders of the Kansas City massacre and the manhunt that followed. By 5 p.m. on October 22, 1934, the Conkle farm was empty. The police cars were gone. Ellen Conkle stood in her kitchen. The dishes Floyd had used for his last meal remained on the table. Blood stained the cornfield behind her house. Within hours, the blood would be washed away by rain. But the memory of what happened that afternoon would remain.